What if the $2.99 plant could outlive your car? Most gardeners toss out their geraniums every fall. But what if I told you that little $2.99 pot from the garden center could bloom faithfully for 20 years? Across America, millions of geraniums are treated as disposable summer decor. Yet, according to the University of Minnesota Horticultural Extension, 2023, geraniums are perennial evergreen subshrubs capable of living decades if overwintered correctly. The tragedy? Most people never give them a chance. When I first started gardening, I bought geraniums every spring, bright, cheerful, short-lived. Then one year, an elderly neighbor showed me her grandmother's geranium, a plant that had been blooming since the late 1990s. That single moment changed how I saw these flowers forever. So today, we're busting one of the biggest myths in home gardening and showing how a simple $2.99 plant can become a lifelong companion with just a few smart, science-backed habits. Step 1. The pre-winter haircut. Before the frost arrives, your geranium needs what gardeners affectionately call the big haircut. Not a tidy trim, not a few snips for shape, a complete reset. For many gardeners, this feels brutal. You've spent all summer admiring the full, lush blooms, and now you're cutting it down to a stub. But this is not the end. It's the beginning of the next life cycle. Geraniums are naturally wired for rest after a long growing season, and pruning gives them permission to recharge. According to research from the Texas A&M Horticultural Physiology Lab, 2021, pre-dormancy pruning significantly reduces water loss, preserves stored carbohydrates in the roots, and prevents fungal diseases from overwintering on old stems and leaves. More importantly, pruning stimulates the plant's dormant buds, small nodes where new shoots will emerge when spring warmth returns. These buds are the blueprint for next year's growth. Here's how to do it right. Time your pruning about 2 to 3 weeks before your area's first frost. If you're not sure of your local frost date, check the USDA Plant Hardiness Zone map. It's the gardener's best seasonal compass. Using sterilized pruners, a quick dip in 70% alcohol or a bleach solution will do. Cut each stem down to roughly 4 to 5 inches above the soil line. Always make the cut just above a leaf node. This is where the plant will push out its new growth once the days lengthen again. Don't be afraid of how it looks. A freshly pruned geranium can resemble a bundle of bare sticks, but hidden beneath the surface, the plant is concentrating its energy, sealing off cuts, and storing strength in its thickened stems and roots. That energy is the reason some geraniums have been known to live decades when properly maintained. Pruning also gives you the chance to inspect the plant's health. Remove any mushy stems or spotted leaves. What's left is pure potential. In a few short months, those trimmed down branches will burst with vibrant new life. It may look like you've taken something away, but what you've really done is given it the chance to begin again. The haircut is the gardener's promise. Short-term sacrifice for long-term abundance. Now that your geranium is clean and compact, it's ready for the next phase, finding the perfect winter home that keeps it safe, cool, and ready to rest. Step 2. The winter retreat. Once your geranium is trimmed and tidy, it's time for its winter retreat, a quiet, peaceful break after a long, colorful season. Think of this phase as sending your plant to a cozy spa, where it can rest, recharge, and prepare for another year of blooms. No more summer heat, no fertilizer, and definitely no bright sun. Just calm, cool stability. The U.S. Department of Agriculture's Plant Dormancy Study, 2023, found that dormant geraniums thrive best when kept in temperatures between 40 degrees Fahrenheit and 50 degrees Fahrenheit, 5 to 10 degrees Celsius, with 6 to 8 hours of indirect light each day. This range is key because it slows the plant's metabolism and respiration just enough to preserve stored energy without damaging root tissue. In essence, you're helping the plant breathe slower and live longer. Ideal winter locations often surprise people. It's not your living room or kitchen window. Instead, look for places like a basement window ledge, an unheated garage, a bright cellar, or even an enclosed porch that doesn't dip below freezing. These spaces mimic the cool, dry highlands of the geranium's native South African climate. Just make sure the area stays above 35 degrees Fahrenheit. One unexpected cold snap can undo all your preparation, and below 55 degrees Fahrenheit, where warmth can wake the plant too early. Light is equally important. At this stage, geraniums don't need intense sunlight. In fact, too much heat from direct rays can stress the plant. A few hours of filtered daylight or a small 12-watt LED grow light on a timer will do the job perfectly. According to the Cornell Cooperative Extension's Plant Energy Study, respiration in geraniums slows by 80% at around 50 degrees Fahrenheit, minimizing energy loss and protecting carbohydrate reserves in the roots. Warmer environments, however, trigger premature sprouting, resulting in thin, weak stems known as etiolated shoots. Once that happens, your plant spends more energy surviving than resting. Emotionally, this phase is an act of trust. You won't see much happening, maybe a few tired leaves, maybe nothing at all. But beneath the surface, your geranium is quietly alive, storing energy, rebuilding cells, and preparing for its next comeback. Geraniums don't ask for much in winter, just peace, a little light, and a space cooler than your coffee. But before you tuck your plant in for its long nap, there's one final threat that can undo everything you've worked for. Hidden pests that love to hitch a ride indoors. Step 3. The pest inspection. Before you carry your geraniums into their winter refuge, take a moment for a full inspection, because nothing ruins a cozy winter like uninvited guests. You wouldn't welcome friends into your home covered in fleas, and the same goes for your plants. Aphids, spider mites, and whiteflies often hitchhike indoors unnoticed, hiding beneath leaves and multiplying in the still, warm air of your winter setup. According to the University of California's Integrated Pest Management Program, 2022, these soft-bodied pests reproduce up to 5 times faster indoors because of stable temperatures and the absence of natural predators. What starts as a few small dots on a leaf can become a full-blown infestation within weeks, sapping energy from your geranium right when it's trying to rest. The solution is simple and safe. Mix a mild soap spray by combining 2 tablespoons of liquid dish soap per quart of water and mist both sides of the leaves, especially underneath where pests hide. For more stubborn infestations, a 0.5 to 1% neem oil solution is highly effective. Neem oil works by disrupting insect hormones and preventing reproduction, yet it's safe for indoor environments. The USDA Integrated Pest Management Division found that natural oils like neem can reduce soft-bodied pest populations by up to 90% in just 10 days without harming beneficial microbes or pollinators. Repeat treatments every 3 days for about 2 weeks, and always allow the plant to dry in indirect light. After the final treatment, wipe the leaves gently with a damp cloth to remove residue and ensure good air circulation. A clean geranium in November means a happy gardener in May. By keeping pests out before dormancy, you're giving your plant a healthy, peaceful winter and yourself one less surprise come spring. Once your geranium is pest-free and tucked away, it's time to face the question that confuses even experienced gardeners. How do you water a sleeping plant? Step 4. The watering balancing act. If there's one golden rule for overwintering geraniums, it's this: more plants die from kindness than from cold. Overwatering kills geraniums faster than frost ever could. Once temperatures drop and light levels fall, the plant's metabolism slows dramatically, and its roots sip water only in tiny amounts. Research from the Michigan State University Root Health Study, 2021, revealed that geranium roots remain metabolically active even at 40 degrees Fahrenheit, but require roughly 80% less water than they do during summer growth. Too much moisture during dormancy suffocates roots, encourages fungal rot, and prevents the plant from conserving stored energy. The key is balance. Check your soil every 3 to 4 weeks, not every few days. If the top inch feels dry to the touch, or if you're unsure, use a basic moisture meter. Give a small drink just enough to moisten, not soak the soil. Pour slowly until you see a hint of water emerging from the drainage hole. Then stop immediately. Never leave water standing in a saucer. Stagnant moisture is the silent killer of overwintering plants. In this season, watering isn't an act of rescue. It's an act of restraint. Imagine your geranium asking for a sip, not a soak, like a friend who only wants half a cup of tea. By keeping things on the dry side, you protect your plant's roots, maintain healthy oxygen flow, and set the stage for vigorous spring growth. A little moderation now means decades of blooms ahead. Now that you've mastered pruning, rest, pest control, and watering, it's time to explore some creative overwintering techniques, from classic pot storage to bold experiments gardeners swear by. Step 5. Alternative wintering techniques. Gardeners, by nature, are inventors, always curious, always experimenting. And when it comes to overwintering geraniums, generations of clever hands have discovered more than one way to keep these plants alive through the cold months. Whether you're short on space, love a good DIY challenge, or simply enjoy trying new approaches, there's a method that fits your style. The USDA Master Gardener Program highlights 3 tried-and-true techniques for successful geranium storage. 1. Bare root storage. This old-fashioned yet highly effective method involves gently shaking excess soil from the roots, trimming them slightly, and wrapping each plant in newspaper. Store them in a cool, dry area between 40 to 45 degrees Fahrenheit, 4 to 7 degrees Celsius. A basement or root cellar works perfectly. Check monthly to ensure roots stay slightly flexible, misting lightly if they become too dry. 2. Hanging upside down. Ideal for gardeners prone to overwatering, this method keeps plants dry and rot-free. After pruning and cleaning, remove most of the soil and hang the plants upside down in paper bags in a cool, airy space. The paper prevents dust and allows airflow. It looks unconventional, but many gardeners swear by it for strong spring regrowth. 3. Potted indoors. For those who can't bear an empty windowsill, repot your geraniums into smaller containers with fresh potting mix. Keep them in bright, indirect light and treat them as semi-dormant houseplants. Water sparingly and enjoy a touch of greenery all winter. Research from the University of Illinois Horticulture Lab, 2022, found that bare root geraniums had an impressive 92% survival rate after 5 months of dormancy, when humidity levels stayed around 60%. That balance prevents desiccation while reducing fungal risks, the sweet spot of winter storage. Whether you prefer a minimalist approach or enjoy experimenting, there's a wintering technique for every gardener. Each method tells the same story. Nature rewards curiosity and those willing to adapt. And when spring whispers its return and light spills across your windows again, you'll be ready for the next magical step, the awakening. Step 6. Spring revival. Late February brings subtle signs that your geranium's long winter nap is ending. Tiny pale shoots appear, stretching tentatively toward the light. That's your cue, the moment to bring your sleeping beauty back to life. According to the University of Wisconsin Greenhouse Study, 2023, geraniums resume active growth when soil temperatures reach about 55 degrees Fahrenheit, 13 degrees Celsius, and daylight surpasses 10 hours. This natural signal triggers root activity, chlorophyll production, and the return of color. To revive your geranium, start by gently inspecting it. Pinch off any pale, leggy, or brittle shoots. These weak stems waste the plant's stored energy. Next, repot it into a fresh, well-draining mix. Equal parts peat or coconut coir, compost, and perlite. This blend restores aeration and nutrients depleted over winter. Choose a pot roughly twice the size of the old root ball to give new roots room to expand. Begin watering gradually. Start with a light drink to rehydrate the roots, increasing volume as new growth appears. Within weeks, you'll see stronger, greener shoots forming. As days warm, introduce your geranium to outdoor light. First in partial shade, then in full sun once frost danger passes. Sudden sunlight after dormancy can scorch leaves, so let it adjust in stages. Fertilization should wait about 3 weeks after signs of new growth. When the plant's energy is flowing again, feed it every 2 weeks with a balanced October 10th, 10 fertilizer to support root and bloom development. What happens next is one of gardening's quiet joys. Those bare stems, once cut back to stubs, will burst into lush, fragrant growth. The first flowers feel like a reward, proof that patience, timing, and care pay off far more than constant replacement. Reviving a geranium each spring is like reuniting with an old friend. You'll recognize its familiar scent, its favorite corner of the garden, and the way it catches morning light. It's living proof that longevity doesn't come from luck. It comes from understanding. And that brings us to the real secret behind a 20-year geranium. Not just the how, but the why. Why geraniums live so long. If you've ever wondered how a humble $2.99 geranium can outlast furniture, fences, and even a few pets, science has the answer, and it's hidden in the plant's anatomy and chemistry. According to the USDA Plant Longevity Research Program, 2023, geraniums owe their remarkable endurance to lignified stems and semi-woody bases that act as natural energy banks. These tissues store carbohydrates throughout the growing season and produce antifreeze proteins that prevent ice crystals from forming in plant cells. This allows geraniums to survive near freezing conditions without cellular damage, making proper overwintering far easier than most gardeners realize. The Cornell Soil Biology program found that geraniums grown in well-aerated potting mixes foster strong relationships with mycorrhizal fungi, beneficial microbes that enhance nutrient absorption by up to 40%. This partnership not only improves root health, but also increases bloom density and overall plant vigor year after year. Meanwhile, research from the University of Georgia's Plant Health Lab revealed another hidden strength. Geraniums that live more than 5 years begin producing higher levels of antimicrobial terpenes in their leaves. These compounds act as natural defenses against mold, mildew, and bacterial leaf spots, effectively strengthening the plant's immune system over time. A 20-year geranium isn't a miracle. It's simply a plant that's been allowed to do what it was always built for, to live long, store energy, and bloom again. So what's the real reward for all this patience and care? Let's close with what gardeners truly gain when they give this plant a second chance. Geraniums aren't just summer color. They're living heirlooms. With a little pruning, cool storage, and patience, a $2.99 plant can outlast your car, your patio set, and your favorite gloves. Each winter nap and spring revival adds another chapter to a story most gardeners never let unfold. According to the National Gardening Association, 2023, older gardeners who care for long-lived container plants like geraniums experience 25% lower stress and report greater life satisfaction. It's not just the flowers, it's the ritual, the continuity, and a reminder that resilience can be beautiful. So this year, don't toss your geraniums with the fall leaves. Give them rest, light, and time, and they'll reward you with a decade or two of blooms. Because sometimes the most extraordinary things in a garden begin with a simple $2.99 plant and a gardener who believes in second chances.